overall thoughts a few days in?
What was day 3, first day in pads? Defense well ahead of the offense. It's the way it should be. If you feel like a good balanced team, and really happy with the play of our secondary. I think we're contesting plays. People aren't running wide open. I think we're better up at front against the run too. So we got a long way to go there, but I like the physicality we had in day 1 with the defense. Offense has got a ways to go, I think, to get where we want to be, to play with the tempo and the execution we want to. I did think they finished practice well today, though, in some competitive situations. So it's a process. The thing about process, it's boring. It's boring for me to get here and talk to you about what we're doing right now. There's a routine to a process that isn't fun and exciting, but if you do it right, then when you play, it is. So that's where we're at.
What have you thought of Preston and Kevin, 2 days in or a few days in?
I think they've got good command of what we're doing. They seem very comfortable. I think they're doing a good job just running the offense. It's in install mode, but running the plays that are given to them, even versus bad looks. I think Preston, and Kevin at times too, but Preston's shown you one of his strengths. He can extend plays, get out, throw on the run, take off. So if he can continue to build on that strength and value the football, then that's a good thing for us.
What did you think about the end of practice there with that catch for Jordan, everyone getting hyped up?
Yeah, look, it's good. The reality of it is if you just saw that, you feel like, the offense. No, the defense won the day, in my opinion. But, we had some competitive stuff at the end. I think the offense responded well late. And, look, a lot of football comes down to contested one-on-one 50-50 matchups, whether it's on the perimeter, in the box, whatever. And it was a 3rd and 1, and Preston took a shot to Jordan. Charles had great coverage. It's just Charles has probably made those plays more than half the time in the first 3 days. But, Jordan made a great play there. And it's good energy. And the biggest thing we talk about with our guys that I like about this team, and we've got to continue to do this, is we compete with each other, not against each other. And that's a small detail that matters. We're not trying to show each other up, and we're competing with each other because it makes us better. If Jordan and our wideouts are the best wideouts that Charles Wood sees all year, then he's going to be better on game day. And if Charles is one of the best DBs that our wideouts face all year, then they're going to be better. And that's got to permeate through our team. So I love it.
What have you seen from your running backs through the first few days?
Solid, steady. They know what they're doing. Coach Hall's done a good job. We got good depth. When you talk about, Rooster and LJ and Levine being back, and then Velton and Kamar, that's 5 pretty good options. They all seem to be just kind of being quiet and going to work. Not a lot of flash, doing their job, and I think they've done a good job in protection, early on, which is good. Again, first day in pads, so we'll see the film, but they're all running north and south, which is what we want.
How do you balance the psychology with that group? They're all competitive guys. They all want the ball, and there aren't enough carries for everybody to have a whole lot every week.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the case at a lot of positions. Competition makes everybody better. We've told them all you are competing, you'll earn your opportunities, and if more than one guy can earn an opportunity, we'll play more than one guy. Now, we're not going to be able to play 5, but you just look at last year, the injuries we had. Hopefully we don't, but we're going to need everybody at some point. And so, if you end up being that 4th or 5th guy, it takes a really mentally tough person to be able to push through that, knowing that, hey, it may be week 3 or 7, or it may be the last game when you're called upon. If you're ready, you'll take advantage of it, and if you're not, you won't. But we're not anywhere near that yet, so those guys are all competing, and they all know, though. They know it's a really competitive situation, which is good.
What have you seen from Kamar? Coach Grizz, he was the guy that Coach Grizz talked about at the Rob, getting a little bigger, a little stronger, and a lot healthier.
Yeah, Kamar, in the spring did what he needed to do academically, which was good. Coach Grizz thought he had a great summer. It's about consistency with him, not just on the field, off the field. And I don't mean that like his character's fine, he's a good kid. It's just, consistency, being where you're supposed to be on time, going to class, and just doing all the things that, don't necessarily make you a great player or a champion, but great players and champions do. And so first 3 days he's been great. He's just going to work. We all know the ability's there. Can he stay healthy and be available? And can he do the things that allow him to stay on the field? And so that's something that he's gotten better at, and he'll have to continue to do well.
You mentioned the progress that the offense still needs to make going forward.
Yeah.
Within that, the offensive line obviously relies a lot on timing and chemistry with the guys next to each player. And you've got 3 veterans who have arrived since the spring. Ja'Kai Clark played for you in Miami, Caleb Johnson, Logan Parr. What have you thought specifically of those 3, and does Ja'Kai have a leg up on acclimating to the group simply because he's familiar with you and Coach Justice?
I would normally say yes, but, and Kyle, he'll probably tell you, he came in way overweight. I mean, he's a lot heavier than he played at Miami for us or even last year, I believe. And so, in the spring, that was something he didn't do a good job with, and he came in overweight. So we'll have to see if he can get his weight to allow him to play. But in terms of mentally knowing what we do, yeah, I mean, he would have to have a leg up. I think Logan Parr has flashed and looked solid, looked like a veteran guy, and Caleb's still trying to learn the terminology. So, I mean, we need more info to know on those guys. I do think the line is an area that when you got young quarterbacks, a lot of new skill positions, and on offense it usually takes a little bit longer to gel. And right now you're just installing plays and you're running them against whatever looks out there, and you're not really scheming anything. But the O-line can be kind of that steady constant for us. If you really think about it, I mean, you got Branson Hickman and Marcus Bryant and Justin Osborne back, and Hiram White's played a lot of football even if it's not here, and then those other guys we just talked about. So we need those guys to kind of, they don't get all the attention, It's kind of like a sexy sports car, but they're not on the outside, but they're the difference in having a V6, V8, and a V12, and we need them to kind of set the standard for our offense.
Who are some guys that kind of stood out as leaders through the first 3 days?
I can't single anybody out right now. I think we've got a lot of guys. Right now I feel good about the fact that it seems like our team is fairly player-led, and I can't just pinpoint one or two. I mean, I could name some, but I would probably be slighting guys that are doing a good job. So, we'll see what the team thinks here in a few weeks when we vote on captains, but I do like that part of our team. It just feels like everybody's pulling in the same direction.
Do you know yet who's going to wear number 23 this year?
I don't. We typically will go through camp, and then right before school starts, so we'll vote on captains. We'll vote on that, and it'll be the hardest decision probably this year since I've been here, just because I think there's probably a bunch of guys that would deserve it.
This is kind of random, but there's a lot of talk about gambling and some schools getting into trouble or whatever with that. How do you guys handle that, and do you guys approach things just kind of, how do you wrestle with all of that injury reporting and trying to keep guys just on the right side?
I mean, we educated them today. We checked in, our compliance department did, and then I did, and we keep it in front of their mind that, I mean, look, it's really, the rule's pretty straightforward. If you play or coach college athletics, you can't gamble. I mean, I think ping pong is about the only sport not sponsored by the NCAA, so you can't gamble on sports for the most part. And not only is it like your eligibility in jeopardy, but there's a lot of legal ramifications that come with that. And to your point, everything from giving information to other people, we educate and we keep telling them about it, that not only is your eligibility at stake and our team, but your livelihood. And so, hopefully those guys listen. But we tell them on the front end what the rules are. We try to educate them the best we can and just keep it in front of their mind, because it's scary, some of the stuff happening out there at other places.
One guy that you missed a bit last year was Stephon Wright. He's out on the field now. Is he fully cleared? If you had a game tomorrow, could he play?
Yes. Yeah, he's fully cleared. I think he's feeling good. It'd be good to hear how he did after a day in pads, but all summer he didn't have any setbacks. I mean, I think mentally he's in a good space. It was a shame. He was starting to play really well about Navy game last year when he got hurt. And so he's a really athletic guy on the inside for us that just really adds to our depth. So we're excited to have him back.
In the secondary, you kind of talked about the guys you brought in, upping the level of the guys returning.
Yep.
I know Crossley had a big play to end practice yesterday. What have you seen from him as he's kind of grown into a different kind of player?
Yeah, I think, he's a little more disciplined. He's got better eyes. He doesn't freelance as much. Last year he was make a big play or give up a big play, and right now he's just kind of being more steady and then allowing those plays to come like yesterday. I think him and CJ are battling well. They're both going to give us good depth at that nickel position. We're really pleased with where he is compared to where he was a year ago.
And then just with some limitations number-wise, especially at linebacker, is that kind of third safety spot even bigger for you guys this year?
I mean, the third safety spot's big for us because we play with three safeties. So I think figuring out who those three are and then who's going to rotate in, because all three of those safeties for us do something totally different. So I don't know if the safety piece necessarily has anything to do with the linebacker piece. We feel like we've got we got 6 scholarship guys there that even the freshmen, they're going to have to help us. We'll see how it shakes out. But, 6 is enough if they're all playing well, So.